Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Hello, hello. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. And be sure that if you are joining this webinar, let me know where you're watching from, okay? Let me also be sure that everybody knows that we are live. Okay. Good evening, everybody. Welcome again. We are live. I hope everybody can hear me, though I have a really bad cough, but I will do my best to be as audible as possible. As audible as possible. So that everybody can hear me clearly. Okay? I hope I'm actually live in the right group. Okay. I can see that people have joined now that I'm checking from a different device. Thank you everybody for joining. I can see your comments now. Kemi Popola watching from Port Harcourt, Dolly Kurede Eni watching from Delta, Chiamaka is watching from Nigeria. I am currently streaming from Manchester in the United Kingdom. Thank you again to everybody who's watching. Thank you to everybody who's joining. I appreciate you. I don't want to excuse me. Oh my goodness. I do not want to take too much of your time. And I'm going to go through this as fast as I can because my voice is literally going off on me. But I really hope that it doesn't just go off completely. Good evening, Choma Odrikolo. Good to have you here. Thank you for joining as well. If you know anybody who needs to be here, please tag them so that they can also join as well. Share the link to the group on your social media platforms as well so that other people can join. Today's webinar is on the business of writing books. It will surprise some people and be of no surprise at all to other people that the topic of this webinar coincidentally is also a title of a book that I wrote back in 2018 called The Business of Writing Books as well. And what I want to do in this webinar is not to minimize that book, but also just to give you an overview of what it means to build a business as an author, or even as somebody who wants to build an online business starting from writing their book. So, whether you've written a book before or it's your first time uh, here and you've never written and you want to write a book, this session is for you, okay? And I am going to do my best to give you a very comprehensive overview on the business of writing books. So, first of all, a little bit of housekeeping. Please ensure this is going to be on for maybe about an hour, maybe less. I'll try as much as possible to keep it short. So give me about an hour of your time. Be in a place that is quiet, not a place that is noisy, so that you can hear everything I have to say. My voice is not of the best quality right now, like I shared, and you can probably tell. So if you are not listening attentively, you might miss certain things. So please make sure that I have your undivided attention for this short period of time. Also, it's great to take notes. You can also take screenshots because I'll be sharing slides. For some reason, Facebook doesn't let me to toggle between showing my face and sharing slides because I'm literally just sharing my slides directly um, to this Facebook platform. I'm not using Zoom or any other third party app. I am just basically, streaming directly into this Facebook group. So please, you can take notes. If you want to take screenshots as well, you can do so as well. Also, it's possible that there may be some people who are listening. I have turned on automatic captions, so hopefully you should be seeing the captions or the things that I'm saying, the subtitles basically on your screen. You can turn on the captions on your own device as well, but I have it on so that as I am talking, there can be captions, because it's possible that we have people who may be hard of hearing here, who may not necessarily be able to follow everything that I'm saying. So I would crave your indulgence for those of you who may not want to write, but maybe would just want to take screenshots. If you can be dropping summaries of the things I'm sharing in the comment section to help people who are hard of hearing to be able to follow this class, I'll be really, really appreciative. So just like short summaries of what I'm sharing, or basically any, maybe I share a particular sentence and you're able to remember it fully, you can just type it out and put it in the comments, please. I wouldn't want to put anybody on the spot to have like a designated summary writer, but I just employ as many as possible to be able to do it. One person may not be able to get everything, but if many people can, you'll be able to help other people who are here who may not be able to hear what I'm sharing. Okay. So also, please keep your questions to the end of the class. You can write them out somewhere, and then later at the end of the class I'll give you a chance to be able to ask your questions and then answer them. If you um put your questions in the middle, I tend to talk a lot, I tend to digress a lot. I may start reading your questions and then forget the rest of the webinar and not come back again, right? Because I tend to go off tangent a lot. I wouldn't want that to happen, so that everybody can get the best value. So please, for everybody's sake, kindly keep your questions to the end of the session and ask them when it's time for questions, all right? So, some people may know me, some people may not know me. So, I want to first of all introduce myself. Who am I? This pretty girl on your screen is the person who's speaking to you today. My name is Edirin Edewor. I am a multiple Amazon bestselling author, multiple award-winning entrepreneur. I'm an international publisher with my own publishing company that is headquartered in the United States of America. I'm a certified results and performance coach, and I'm somebody who has been given many recognitions for the work I've done in the past almost 9 years. For example, I was a Future Africa Awards nominee for media in 2019. I was one of the top 100 most influential Nigerians according to Advanced Media. I was named for 40 under 40 Africans awardee for authorship and creative writing. I was the only person who wasn't even in academia in that category. Also a JCI Top Astounding Young Persons finalist, and so much more. And guess what? Many of you who are listening to me now are even, in much more perfect health than I am, because in 2016, before I even began all of these things, I was diagnosed with early onset rheumatoid arthritis. In spite of this chronic illness that unfortunately has no cure, I am still able to deliver so much value. I'm still able to get international recognition for the work. I'm still able to show up and show out and do so many things. So beyond even just being an author, an entrepreneur, publisher, I do so many. I'm currently in school doing my master's as well. So doing all of these things, all right, um it doesn't mean that I am a superhuman or I have superpowers. I'm just a person like you and I. In fact, I'm even more nervous than some of you. But when you know what it is that you are called to do, when you know what it is that you are meant to do, you will find a way. When you have the will, you will find a way to make them happen. So after talking about who I am and why you should listen to me, beyond many other things that I've done, for example, having a community of almost 40,000 people, the Online Publishers and Entrepreneurs Network, and helping almost 1,500 people get published, with hundreds of them becoming Amazon bestsellers, helping over 150 people start their businesses, and so on and so forth. I'm building a successful business for myself as well. These are things that qualify me to be able to teach on the business of writing books, because my story started from one small 19-page book in 2016 called The Productivity Checklist that became an accidental bestseller because I dared to tell people that this is what I do. 7 months later, I was able to replicate the process of writing a book and publishing again, and telling the story of how a Nigerian in Nigeria was able to create an Amazon account and publish for the first time in her life, in a time when nobody was doing such a thing. And that was what changed my life. From writing and publishing and launching a book, I was able to launch a business that has changed my life completely. So in this webinar, I'm going to be sharing with you how you can earn an income from your book, how to use AI to multiply your content because AI is king now, and how to build a business around what you already know. So, who's excited for today's class? Who's excited? Let me see a thumbs up. Let me see an emoji in the comments, and let me know that you're ready to get going, and we shall move on. Okay? Thank you to everybody who's also joining in as well. I appreciate you. I will be as quick as possible to make sure that we are done in the shortest time possible. So while I'm waiting for your thumbs up, I'm waiting for your fire emojis in the comment section. I will take a sip of water and then we shall continue immediately. All right. So I can see a lot of thumbs up and heart emojis. You're using the emoticons. I really appreciate those. So let's move on. I also want you to know that the more you comment and the more you press on the likes and the hearts, the more people get notified. People in this group will get notified that we are live. So I really appreciate what you're doing. Thank you so much for doing that. So let's move on to, by way of introduction, before we talk about, how to earn real income from your book and all of that, there are a lot of authors and would-be authors that miss a lot of things when it comes to publishing. So what do they miss? There's a lot of things I wanted to write, but there's only so much I can put in slides. And I try to make my slides as detailed as possible for people who may not be able to hear, people who are hard of hearing. I try to make my slides as detailed as possible. Okay, so a lot of authors tend to only focus on writing and publishing the book. So I have a lot of people who come to me and say, "Oh, I have 5 books I've written. I have not launched anyone, but the books are ready. They are published, but I've not launched anyone." And I wonder what's happening. Why haven't you launched? I don't know how. And for me, who's been in this space for about 9 years, close to 9 years, it blows my mind that people know how to write, people know how to publish, but when it comes to actually putting their books out there, they have no idea where to even start. People still think in terms of, oh, I have to hire a hall, I have to invite people to come and do, I will launch this book with 1 million naira. That there's nothing wrong with that, but the world has evolved beyond just doing that. Some people also know how to celebrate a launch and hope that sales come naturally. Some people go ahead and do that whole get a hall or get chairs, get somebody to come, get copies of the book, tell people to launch the book for them. And after that launch is done, unfortunately, they have no idea to actually put the book in the hands of the masses. People also, even when they even manage to get some sales during the launch, they are not able to see steady real income beyond the initial sales. So you're leaving a lot of money on the table when you're slacking. So how do you leave a lot of money on the table? One, when you treat your book as a one-time product instead of a business platform. You have a fantastic idea and experience in something, you have knowledge, obviously, and that's why you've been able to write a book about this thing. But when you only present that knowledge in book form, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. You could actually build a business that doesn't compromise your work or your existing business by creating multiple ways to earn from that knowledge. Some people, which leads me to the next point, which is failing to repurpose your book's content for multiple uses. When you only have, the book itself and you don't have other accompanying content and products that you can use to substitute the book, there is not a lot of room for you to be able to make a lot of sales. All right. Michelle Obama was able to sell millions of copies of her book simply because she decided to make an audiobook version of the book. So people who couldn't read were able to actually listen to the book, and that was an extra way for them to make money. But some people who are listening to me only think in terms of text and they don't think about other ways. Some people actually put their books into video form nowadays. So instead of reading chapters or listening to chapters, you're actually watching videos of the actual book. And there are ways to do that now thanks to AI. All right. So people also do not know how to build follow-up offers or engage readers after their launch. They miss opportunities to be able to create multiple income streams because you look at your book buyers as one-time buyers. You don't see them as repeat customers. You don't see them as people who would need more guidance, more services from you. And then you just launch your book, throw out your book as randomly into the air and expect that people will just jump on it. It doesn't work that way. So before you start earning from your book, what do you need to do? What do you need to do? First things first, you must have a clear understanding of who your ideal readers and customers are. I'm not going to be focusing on how to sell book. This is not the class for that. I'm talking about the business of writing books, okay? So you have a book, or you have an idea for a book, you're writing a book, or you've published the book, or you've launched it, and you want to be able to build a business, and you want to be able to earn more from your book. What do you need to do first? First things first, you must have a clear understanding of who your ideal readers or customers are. If you're somebody who has launched a book before, then you have a seeming idea already. If you look at the kind of people who have bought your book and really got value from it, those tell you that these are my ideal clients. So for example, when I wrote a book called The A to Z of Ebook Publishing in 2017, a lot of people who bought the books were people who were either first time, people who had never written a book before, wanted to write and get published, or people who had published that didn't know how to publish their book on Amazon. They only knew how to publish it locally. So I knew that when I wanted to build a business off of the knowledge of that book, I would focus on people who were authors. I will focus on people who were either first time authors, people who were established authors that wanted to be able to have more reach, a global reach. So be clear on who your ideal readers or customers are, because your ideal readers become your ideal customers. You also need to get clear on your messaging and your vision for the future for yourself. Okay, I want to build a business writing from my books and from my book content, but what exactly is the message that I want to put out there? How do I connect with people? How do I get people to connect with me beyond the title of my book? What is my message? My message is simply I help these kind of people solve this kind of problems so that they can achieve this particular kind of results. All right, so I help first time authors get published on Amazon so that they can have global visibility. That's a simple example of a message. I help single women prepare themselves to become, dateable so that they can attract the man of their dreams. That's an example as well. Who do you help them do? Who do you help people? Or what kind of people do you help? What do you help them solve? What's the benefit of the solution that you're offering them? You must know that. And then, very, very importantly, build an email list or audience interested in your topic. Why am I hammering on email lists? The reason why I'm hammering on email lists is that if you notice, social media reach has gone down. There's algorithms that are changing every single day. Reach inside Facebook groups and pages are the lowest they've ever been. If you rely only on social media, you're building your house on rented land. But if you are building an email list, these are people you can continue to reach out year after year, day in, day out. So if you're somebody that is still on the fence about building an email list and a newsletter for people interested in your topic, you're doing yourself a big disservice. You also need to position your book as a solution to a specific problem or niche. Don't be so general that today you've written a book on how to somebody came to meet me and was like, "Hi, Edirin, I need help to be able to make money from my book." Okay, what's your book about? My book is about showing people how they can make money from their skills. And I honestly did not know how to even answer that person again. Because I'm like, okay, so what exactly did you write in that book? And why aren't you taking your own advice that you now need Edirin to come and advise you? Right? So if your book is not positioned to solve a particular problem that even you haven't experienced, it's difficult for you to even sell the book and sell the solutions. Don't be like that person. You also want to create a simple sales funnel to guide people from discovering the book to buying and engaging with your other offers. A sales funnel is not confusing, it's not difficult, it's not a techie thing. A sales funnel is simply you guiding your readers through buying your book and continuing to build a relationship with them that eventually, when you have other offers to give them, they are ready to buy. A simple sales funnel is you, for example, giving something out for free, and then in exchange you get their email addresses, or in exchange you get them to be part of your platform, your WhatsApp channel, your Facebook group, whatever platform that you can connect with them again. And then you can upsell them on something small, maybe your book, at a very affordable price, 2,000, 5,000. When they've tasted of your book and your free stuff, and they see that you truly are who you say you are, because your book is either providing them information, educating them on something, solving a problem for them, or even entertaining them, they are more willing to buy from you next time. But if you only sell your book to people and you don't even have a way to communicate with those people again, then you are not building a funnel. Okay. You also need to develop a market plan or marketing plan to promote your book consistently, not just at launch. This is another big problem that authors go through. You launch your book and then you suddenly expect manna to fall from heaven, that, oh, all of a sudden people just start buying the book just like that. It doesn't happen like that. That's the honest truth. Even if you publish a book on Amazon, there is no chance that automatically you start receiving sales that will be falling from the sky. And I see a lot of people who, promote this Amazon KDP thing as a business. Many of them, saw my stuff, even bought my courses, and then became very desperate to get customers and started promising all kinds of things. All right. So their own is, oh, just publish a book on Amazon and you start printing money in dollars. I've never said that in my life. And I do not promise that kind of thing. Instead, I teach people how to use Amazon Publishing to position themselves as international authorities so that they can actually get better results for their business. Okay? So, but you must develop a marketing plan to promote your book consistently and prepare additional products or services that complement your book's content when you eventually want to sell them or other things. So, for example, when you're writing your book or when you're publishing your book, start thinking about, okay, how can I repurpose the content of my book to become a class that I could teach? How can I repurpose the content of my book to become a solution that I could offer in terms of a course, in terms of a webinar, in terms of a workbook, a companion workbook, or a self-study book? All right. So if you do not have these steps in place, your book would risk being just another product on a shelf instead of a tool for income and business growth. It's very important that you know what this means. So now that we've talked about, what you need to do before you can start earning from your book and all of that. Now, how do you earn real income from your book? There are many ways. In fact, at the bottom of this slide, you can see where I wrote 101 ways to repurpose your book content and monetize your knowledge and skills. This is something I've been working on. I created a list, not just a list, but a comprehensive repository of 101 different ways by which your book content can be repurposed and monetized, and you can actually not monetize your knowledge and skills from it. And if you want to get this particular um thing that I have created, it's a PDF document, it's a simple PDF document. If you want to be able to get that simple PDF document, you have to make sure that you stay till the end. Very, very important. You have to make sure that you stay all the way till the end, because I didn't just put down a list, number one this, number two that. No, I actually put out a comprehensive guide and I separated them into subtopics. So for example, there's a bunch, I think about 10 of them, under writing and content marketing. There's another bunch under speaking and training. There's another bunch under how to repurpose for digital products. There's another one on audio and video. Another list, that talks about book to business offers. Another list that talks about how you can create merchandise and physical products. Another set that talks about how to create events and experiences. And I give full on examples where you can even go and research people. So for example, if you get the document, right, you can look at, for example, under collaborations and licensing, which is something that I really, really have been, paying attention to, and I've been practicing, and I've been realizing that a lot of authors don't even know they can do that. But you can actually license your intellectual property, your framework, and actually the actual book to schools, to the government, to universities, to educational platforms, and so on and so forth. So for example, on one of the examples I gave on collaborating and licensing, I talked about how you can get brand sponsorships related to your book topic. So for example, if your book aligns with a brand's mission, they may sponsor your content or its event. So a fitness book author, for example, could get sponsored by a protein shake company. Somebody like Jay Shetty, how many of you know Jay Shetty? Jay Shetty often partners with wellness brands that reflects his book theme. So every single point that I give, every single number that I give, every single way that I share with you, I explain it and I give you examples of people who are actually doing it. So it's not things that I just pulled out of my behind. These are things that are well researched, and I had to go and get examples of people who are doing this with their books and their brands, so that you can know that there's another example that I wish I added. I just realized now. There's an actress who created a book club that is now worth over $900 million from one single book. She created a book club and created a business out of the book club that is now worth over $900 million. Dude, there are so many ways that you could repurpose. I cannot obviously fit 101 inside of this, but for some very special people today at the end of this, you'll be able to get access to my 101 ways to repurpose your book content and monetize your knowledge and skills. I'm not asking you to do all of the 101. You can go through them, see the ones that align with your book topic or with your genre, with your niche, and then decide to expand your business and monetize your skills in that direction. All right, so publishing your book is a start. That's great. And the real income comes when you turn that book into multiple money making opportunities. Till date, I've sold over 20,000 copies of my book. But if I sold only 20,000 copies of my book times an average of 4,000 naira, for example, that's around 8 million naira. And I can tell you for a fact that I've made way more than that 8 million naira in the past couple of years. I've made, I will not tell you, multiple six figures in dollars. All right. And most of that income did not come from selling books. Most of the income did not come from selling books. However, every single one of that income came as a result of me writing a book and building a business from my book. Is everybody with me? Is everybody with me? I don't think I can see your comment again for some reason, but I hope that you are still commenting and sharing with me. And for people who can, please put out summaries so that people who are hard of hearing in the comment section or in this live can actually follow through. Okay, so there are many ways to earn income from your book. Like I said, there's 101. However, I just gave a few examples here. You can sell the book directly on multiple platforms like Amazon, or your local stores, or online shops, or even your own personal website using a platform like Seller. You can use Stan, you can use Gumroad, depending on where you're watching from. All right. You can you can also create paid workshops or webinars based on your book's content. For example, me, like I said, this particular webinar I'm doing is directly taken from a book of mine called The Business of Writing Books that I published in 2018. And now I'm repurposing the content of that book to teach a free webinar. All right. So you can create paid workshops or free webinars based on your book's content. You can also license your content to other business. Talking about the business of writing books, um, there is a program that I did in 2019, Authors Business Clinic, ABC. I did just before I took a team of business leaders and speakers on a business trip to Dubai. I remember very clearly. And it was called Authors Business Clinic. Guess what? The idea for Authors Business Clinic came from the book titled The Business of Writing Books. I also created a business bundle called the Entrepreneur Business Bundle. It was a bunch of videos, trainings, programs, and PDFs that also were repurposed from that one book, The Business of Writing Books. I have entire publishing frameworks based on that one book called The Business of Writing Books. I have a publishing framework based on the A to Z of ebook publishing. I have a coaching framework based on my book titled Zero to Influence. I have a course called School of Influence that was based off of Zero to Influence. All right. So almost anything that I do, I usually would write a book first and then look at how I can repurpose that book into content. My podcast, School of Influence podcast, was also based on a book called Zero to Influence. All right. So there are many ways that you can repurpose your book content. You can license your content to other businesses, companies, or educators. You can sell your intellectual property and your book's framework for as much as $5,000. You can sell your framework to school for as much as $5,000. You can actually sit down and create curriculums based on your book's IP and your book's intellectual property, and sell it to schools, not just primary and secondary schools, but universities, and not just in Nigeria, but outside the country as well, that they will pay you as much as $5,000, $10,000. It works. You can actually license your programs, your books, and your intellectual properties to other business owners. I have done it multiple times where people pay me and white label content from my book and my IP to be able to serve their audience. It works. All right. You can develop online courses, affiliate marketing. You can use affiliate marketing to recommend tools and services related to your book. For example, if you're writing a book on AI, you are in money, because inside of your book you can actually create affiliate links to AI tools. You can offer coaching or consulting. You can also bundle your books with related products. Many of the Almost half of the 20,000 copies of books that I have sold so far did not come from me selling individual books. They came from me selling bundles. All right. So if you have a bunch of books, you can actually bundle them together, discount the price, and sell it. And that way, you're actually able to sell way more books than normal. So you can also host live events or retreats, which I also did. So for example, the retreat that I hosted, the Breakthrough Experience Business Retreat, was based off of the idea from Zero to Influence the book. I hosted a physical retreat for that. So there are many, many ways to repurpose your book. Now, you may say, okay, I want to repurpose my book again, but I don't know where to start from. What do I do? How do I start sitting down and everything I've written? How do I turn my book into a webinar? How do I turn my book into a challenge? How do I turn my book into social media captions and this and that? I will show you some prompts. However, just know that AI tools can help you save time and reach more people by turning your book into different useful formats, because you don't have to do everything yourself. It's stressful. Why stress yourself when there's AI? You can use AI to generate blog posts from your book chapters. That saves you writing time. You can upload parts of your book and tell AI, this is chapters 1 and 2 of this particular book. I want you to help me to generate 10 blog posts in the same writing style I used to write this particular book. And those 10 blog posts, I want you to make them SEO friendly so that I can publish them. Oh, based on this particular chapter of my book, I want to create a webinar. Help me to come up with slide ideas, help me to come up with webinar titles, help me to come up with the webinar outline based on the content of this book, and write it in my writing style. People don't know that you could do that. You can use AI to make social media captions, video scripts, email sequences. You can create video subtitles and summaries, and even audio versions of your content. All right. You can also generate ideas for workshop, courses, or challenges based on your book topic, and use AI chatbots to engage visitors on your website with book related info. So if somebody comes to your website and is interested in what it is that you have to do, you can actually create a chatbot inside of ChatGPT. You don't have to stress yourself about it. You can create a chatbot and just copy what it has done and paste it inside the chat bot software that you're using, and everything just works out for you. These tools will help you multiply your reach and help you monetize your content faster without burning out, which is something that a lot of people struggle with, right? People struggle with burnout. They struggle with creating content consistently, when you can actually take your book and repurpose it into content as much as you want. As much as you want. Do you know that ChatGPT can create 100 different social media post ideas from just one chapter of your book? Instead of you sitting down and racking your heads on how do I now create content for my book, take one chapter, upload it onto ChatGPT, and say, from this one now, create 50 blog post ideas, 50 Facebook post ideas from this particular chapter of my book, and it will do it for you within seconds, rather than you trying to struggle and rack your head. So I want to use an example. I picked an example from one of these examples I shared with you, which is generating ideas for workshop, courses, or challenges based on your book topic. And I decided to write out a prompt. My prompts are very detailed. I don't just write, "Hey ChatGPT, can you please help me to create 50 ideas for webinar based off of my book." That's very, very vague. And there's this thing called garbage in, garbage out. Is whatever you put inside ChatGPT that it will give you. The more detailed you are, the more detailed the results you will get. The more refined your prompts are, the more refined your answers will give. Now, what you're seeing on this slide is a prompt, just one single prompt. And I've created multiple, sub prompts so that you know what to do after this. You can take a screenshot of this if you want. I'm okay with that. So here's the prompt. Say, for example, I want to repurpose my book's content for workshops and courses and challenges. For example, I want to do a challenge, right? Maybe a free challenge that will end up in me selling a workshop or a course. I will say, "Hey ChatGPT, now imagine you are a creative business strategist and a content marketing expert with deep knowledge of book publishing and author businesses." What have I done in this first sentence now? I have given ChatGPT a personality. I have made it to think in a particular way, not just as an AI machine. And I'll tell you your role. So what should it do? Your role is to help authors turn their book content into multiple income streams by designing workshops, courses, and challenge ideas. That's what you do as a business strategist and content marketing expert. Now, I have written a book about, say, for example, the business of writing books. All right, so you put your book topic there, or your book title there. I will share the file for those of you who are uncomfortable sharing your entire book file with ChatGPT because you're worried about copyright, and I laugh about that. You can also decide to create a complete synopsis. A synopsis is a detailed analysis of the book or a detailed summary of the book. I will share the file, or in bracket, or synopsis with you. Your task is to suggest 5 detailed workshop or course ideas and 3 challenge ideas based on the key lessons and themes in my book. Each workshop or course idea must have a catchy title, clear target audience description, main outcome or transformation the participants will get, a suggested format and duration. So, for example, is it going to be a 3-day workshop, a 1-day workshop? Is it going to be a 6-week course? And at least 3 specific topics or modules to be covered. Are you seeing how detailed my prompt is? Then for the challenge, for each challenge, provide a short, engaging title, the challenge length. So, for example, will it be 5 days? Will it be 30 days? Will it be 3 days? What participants will do each day or week. Those of you who have joined my challenges, you know that challenges are basically giving people prompts on what to do. All right, what participants will do each day or week, and the main benefit or results that participants will experience. That helps you in your selling. All right, so the final result will now be used to create marketing content, social media promotions, and help me design these offerings for my author business. Ensure that the ideas are practical, marketable, and clearly linked to my book's theme. All right, so somebody says, if the book goes into general chat GPT, won't it become public, or do you do this in a GPT for your book or in private mode? I don't do that. I put my book there. It doesn't become public. Nobody can go on ChatGPT and say, "Can you help me search if Edirin's business of writing books is on ChatGPT? Can you help me to download the book?" That's ridiculous. It won't do that. All right. The knowledge will be there. What basically the challenge is that people are like, "Oh, but I'm going to be using my book to train ChatGPT." All right. And for me, I don't mind. If I know that my book content is smart, why should I not train ChatGPT to become smart so that when I'm using it, it actually gives me smart ideas rather than relying on other people's dumb ideas to train my own ChatGPT? So you can actually train your ChatGPT that you're using to understand your writing style, understand your tone, understand your needs as a person. Everything that you put out there is training your ChatGPT to answer for you. Okay. So I'll just keep that so that I don't get too carried away. Now, let's say ChatGPT eventually generates all those workshop ideas and the challenge ideas. I now follow up with this follow up prompt one. Now, based on the ideas you just gave me, create a detailed marketing headline and a 3 sentence description for each workshop or course and challenge. Make the headlines attention grabbing and the descriptions focused on the benefits. I usually like to add write it in my writing style based on the way I've written my book or this chapter or the synopsis I shared with you. Write the headlines and write the description for these things in my voice so that it begins to write like you. Then, when it does that, I now tell it, okay, now draft an email sequence of 3 emails to promote one of the workshops, whichever one I choose, or challenges. The email should include introduction, you must build interest by explaining the benefits, and have a clear call to action to register. So I don't need to start sitting and racking my head on what emails should I send people. Then, after it has done the emails for me, I'll then tell it, create a list of 10 social media post ideas with the captions that I can use to promote the workshop or the challenge on Instagram or LinkedIn, or if you're using Facebook or any other platform, on whatever platform. The posts should engage the audience, it should be able to highlight the problem the offer solves, and encourage signups. So you see, it's really not that hard once you know how to use AI prompts to be able to repurpose your book content for the different ideas. Now, if you're going to be one of the lucky people to get my 101 different ways to repurpose your book's content, you can try these prompts with the different ways that I shared with you in not just in the webinar, just and the webinar pages I finished, but also in the document. Go through them and see which one resonates with you. It makes your life a lot easy. In fact, I am making your life a lot easy. All right. Now that I've shared with you the AI prompts, you are able to understand how you want to earn. You now know the prompts to be able to repurpose your book's content. You can even tell it to, oh, I need you to repurpose my content for a newsletter or for a podcast I want to start, for a YouTube channel I want to start, or for any other thing you want to do. When you now have that, what do you now need to do in building an online business? Now, there is a lot, but I've tried to compress it into 10 simple steps, right? So don't be like most authors that just stop at selling their book, because your book is just the beginning. You can do a full online business from your knowledge and your lived experience, even if you're starting from scratch. So even if you're somebody who's never published before, you can begin to build an online business as an author. So what do you do? The first thing is to clarify your message and your niche. What problem does my book solve? Who is it for? What results have I gotten that other people want? What results have I helped people? Even if I don't have other people, what results have I gotten for myself that I can actually help other people to solve? Then map out the transformation you offer. And guess what? If you can understand your entire story and even share your book idea with ChatGPT, not just your idea, the book itself with ChatGPT, you can actually use prompts to get all of this. You can say, hey ChatGPT, based on all that you know about me and this book, what do you think my book's what problem do you think my book solves? Who do you think my book is for? And what results can this book help people get? ChatGPT can save your life. Then map out the transformation that you offer. There's something that I'm currently doing. Maybe I should share it with you here. There's something I'm currently doing, and um I basically have put everything that has to do with me on ChatGPT, all the public facing links, all the public facing information, any news articles about me, all my YouTube videos. And I also sat down for like a week and collected my entire Facebook posts from 2019 to 2025. There were hundreds of them. And I fed it into ChatGPT and told it, okay, now that you have all this information, based on what you have, who is Edirin Edewor? I have 38 prompts that I've been feeding ChatGPT. Now, anybody who has this prompt, if you are stuck on how to position yourself as a business owner, you're stuck on how to reinvent yourself, you're stuck on how to pivot, you're stuck on how to become visible and build influence in your space so that you can show up more consistent. If you have these 38 prompts, I can guarantee you that I can guarantee you that by the time you're done with this prompt, you will be blown away by what you will discover about yourself and your business. This is something that I'm thinking that I want to teach in a separate class. I don't know if I have enough interest, I'll probably teach it in a separate class. It's not going to be free because it's taking me months to do. But if I get enough interest, maybe I might teach it and actually share the 38 prompts with you. Powerful, powerful prompts. These are not prompts that I got from ChatGPT. These are prompts that I sat down and I designed by myself, step by step, based on my experience as a coach, as a result and performance coach. I had to design. If I was sitting down and working with somebody one on one, it would probably take us like 6 months to go through, the entirety of those questions, right? So, um, map out your transformation, package your knowledge. You can turn your knowledge into digital products, services, community offers. You can build a simple offer suite. So you can start with one low ticket offer, then your core offer, which is your signature service, and then one premium offer. Just start with those three first. In fact, one at a time. And then set up your basic tech tools. What are platforms that you have? Platforms like Seller, Stand, Podia, Gumroad, and all of that to sell your products. Create your freebie and email this with either ConvertKit, MailerLite system, or any other platform that you can use. Use your Zoom or your Google Meet to run your sessions for physical events. Then create content that builds trust. You want to be able to share your story, behind the scenes, lessons from your book, teach small tips from your framework in posts, lives, and reels, and be consistent and personal, because it's your authenticity that sets you apart from every other person in your industry and helps you stand out from the noise. Then when it's time to launch with a simple funnel. Don't say, I'm just starting out, I can't decide to do anything. No. Always give something for free, whether it's a free PDF or it's a free workshop like I'm doing, and then let those people get into your email sequence. Remember that I showed you prompts on different ways that you can use your book's content to generate emails to build a relationship with your audience. And then maybe from email sequence you can invite them to a masterclass and then give them a paid offer, or you can invite them through a challenge. From a challenge you do a webinar. At the end of the challenge you do a webinar, and then you sell them into a paid program. And then you want to be able to automate and scale. Automate basically, it means using tech or using software to be able to do certain things for you without you actively doing them. So, for example, you can turn your best live sessions into evergreen content. If, for example, I was selling something at the end of this program, I make sure that whatever it is I'm selling is something that people can continue to buy over and over and over again. I'll give an example. I did the Global Business Masterclass, right? And the replays are available. I turned the sales page of the Global Business Masterclass into an evergreen content. When people get into that page from my webinar called Business Beyond Borders, they get to that page, they will see that, oh, did you miss the live? Okay, that's fine. You can also still get the replays. And that's how I'm able to make sales automatically. It's called automated sales or passive income funnels, where I'm able to make sales without me having to continuously do launches to launch Global Business Masterclass over and over again. I consistently make sales from that masterclass I did in December last year, and I'm still selling it till this day. Okay, you can build your automated funnels. You can hire a team member as you grow, and then keep listening to your audience by asking questions, running polls, getting feedback, and improve your offers based on what they want, not what you assume. Because sometimes we tend to have an overinflated ego and we don't realize what our audiences want. But when you're able to be humble and receive feedback, you can actually create based on what they want. And then you can repeat this process and grow. One offer, one audience, one funnel, and repeat it until you gain mastery. And then you can keep adding new income streams or products based on what is working. With this simple step-by-step process, you can build an online business as an author. Just take it one step at a time. One step at a time. And I've given you a breakdown. I've told you what to do inside of this, and you can actually take this and run with it. And in the next 30 days, launch your book and build an online business as an author. Has everybody learned something so far from this? Has everybody learned something so far? Have you been blessed? Are you excited? Have you picked something today? I want to point that You don't have to learn everything from every slide. I was reminded of this when I went to church today, and for a long time, for many years, I always go to church and I'm always taking notes, and I find out that I tend to pay more attention to my note taking than actually listen to the message, right? Until one day I realized that I don't have to take everything that the pastor is saying. I just need to connect with that one word. That Sunday, that's all I need. I don't need the entire 30 minutes, 1 hour sermon. I need that one word. That's for me. And that I treat my master classes and webinars that I attend, my trainings that I attend, the same way. I don't have to take everything from every slide that the person has said. I just need to focus on that one thing that solves the one problem that I've been itching about. All right. And I hope that today you've been able to get that your one thing that solves that one problem for you. For some people, it might be the step-by-step process to building an online business. For some people, it's the AI prompts. For some people, it's the examples of different ways that they can actually repurpose their book. For some people, it's the introduction. For some people, it's just who is Edirin Edewor and why should you listen to her. Maybe that's the thing that's just giving you that validation you need to pursue your own dream. Whatever it is for you, I hope that you take that and I hope that you run with it. All right? Has this been of blessing to you so far? If it has, I'm glad. I'm glad that I've done my work. If one person has benefited from this, I'm glad. Now, by now, you see that your book isn't just something to sell, but it is the foundation of an entire business. My entire business was built on books. Everything that I do, all my business models are built from my books. In fact, if I have a business model, a new business model, a new business idea, or a framework that I want to test, I put it in a book. If people can buy the book, they will buy the other products. They will buy the audiobooks. They will buy the master classes. They will join the webinars. They will attend the challenges. They will join the memberships and the workshops. They would sign up for the coaching programs. If one person can buy my book, I know that it solves a problem and I can simply just scale that need to reach a lot more people. So that's one thing that a lot of people struggle with. You don't realize that once you sell your book, you're selling a solution. You write a book, you sell it, and then you are waiting to write another book again before you can sell something on the digital platforms. But you don't realize that your book is solving a problem and you can simply scale by repurposing it into multiple contents. So a lot of authors never get as far as even launching their books. All right, they don't even sell, they don't even have the ability to be able to build a business. And the reason is because they don't launch their book right in the first place. When you go through a launch and your launch doesn't do as well as you hoped, right? If your launch doesn't do as well as you hoped, that is sometimes it can be a motivation killer. And you don't want to go the extra mile anymore. You publish quietly, you cross your fingers, you hope that sales will come in. But if you've ever felt stuck after publishing and you're unsure how to turn your book into income or clients or consistent sales, honestly, it's not your fault. Because many times the difference between where we are and where we want to get to is information. Many times we've not gotten access to the right information. Many times we need mindset deliverance. All right. Sometimes it's mindset deliverance. Sometimes we need to see that it's working for other people. Sometimes we need to have somebody correct something in our mindset that isn't working right or that is working against us. And that's why I created your next six-figure book launch masterclass. Okay, a masterclass that is created to basically help you take the first step, which is launching your book profitably and making nothing less than six figures in naira. I'm not promising you in dollars, in naira. All right, it's going to be a one-time live session. I should have put an asterisk on that one time because I may extend the class to like 2 days. I don't know yet. But for now, it's a one-time live session where I'm going to show you how to build a launch plan that attracts your ideal readers and launches you as a brand. I don't like working with authors who think small. I don't like working with authors who are not interested in establishing their authority in their space, just want to sell your book and move on. But when you're interested in building a brand from your launch, come and meet me. I'm the person for you because that's exactly what I've done over and over again for myself and for my clients. I'm also going to show you how to use AI prompts to automate and scale your marketing and launch process. As you can tell, I'm very good at prompting. I am absolutely phenomenal at prompting. You've seen the prompts that I shared with you for repurposing your book's content. But here I'm going to show you how to automate your book marketing and your launch process so that you are able to generate a launch checklist for everything that you need to do before your launch. I'll also share with you my most effective launch strategies. There are some screenshots that I unfortunately forgot to put on these slides. I worked with a particular client who, recently, in fact, she's been on the bestsellers list now for like 3 weeks straight. She's not falling off the bestsellers list for 3 weeks straight because of the launch strategy that we employed. We did like a pre-launch and then an actual launch for her. In her pre-launch alone, which she did not even advertise, I showed her how to leverage what she already has to be able to do a pre-launch. In her pre-launch, she sold 60 copies of her book. 60 in a small tiny pre-launch. This was just her just making a small announcement to a small group of people and sold 60 copies. I cannot even begin to imagine how many copies she's selling during her actual launch. All right. So I'm going to be sharing with you my most effective launch strategies. I'm also going to be sharing with you the secret behind being an Amazon bestseller before your launch. This is one thing I always get my clients to do. I always tell my clients, my goal is to get you to bestseller before your launch. So that when you're launching, you're telling people that yes, this book is already an Amazon bestseller. Do you know what that does for your launch? When you're putting out a book that people are hearing about for the first time was already an Amazon bestseller and you have the proof. All right, I will share with you the secret behind that. I'll also share with you my post launch sales secret. How do you ensure that sales continue to come in even after your launch date, after the first 48 hours or 72 hours? How do you keep getting launch sales? I'll share that. And then how to repurpose your book content into multiple income streams. The document for that, I'm going to share that with you as well. Okay. So I'm taking everything I've learned from helping people publish over 1,500 books on my community in the past almost 9 years of hitting bestsellers. These hundreds of people have hit bestsellers. This my one-on-one clients. I have maintained a 100% streak. Not a single one of my clients did not become a bestseller. Every single one. And that's why people come to me, because they know that I know what it takes to get people to the bestseller. It's my trade secret. All right. I help people hit the bestsellers list, build a multiple six-figure business for myself in dollars. And I'm giving all of this information in one value packed session, maybe one and a half. I'm not sure yet. I'm still thinking about that other part, the 38 prompts. You do not have to guess your way through this, honestly, because you need a proven strategy, one that turns your book into a brand and turns your brand into a business. A lot of people are walking around, you are a walking brand, but you don't have a business. You are struggling day in, day out, and you do not have a business. But imagine becoming a bestseller, just like these people have shared with you. Imagine your brand growing. Imagine your bank account finally reflecting all those hard work. On Sunday, which is exactly 1 week from now at 8 p.m. UK time and Nigerian time on Zoom, I will be sharing with a very tiny few set of people on how to launch, how to make your next six figures from your book. Okay, now, fast action takers. If you go to the link now, it will definitely be showing 25K, which is something that I realized that I forgot to do. However, I will just simply go and change it now and ensure that fast action takers can actually sort this out. I just realized now that I didn't even change the price. So I'm going to put the price for fast action takers so that people who are able to take action right now can actually get the book, or get the masterclass rather, immediately. All right, I've changed the price. All right, so this is one thing that I added just before I came live. Fast action takers, I'm going to give you the opportunity to get this masterclass at 22,000 naira, or its equivalent in whatever currency you have, but you have to get it between now and 6 a.m. tomorrow. That's 6 a.m. Monday morning tomorrow. And then the early bird price starts at 6:01 a.m., which is 25,000. And after tomorrow, for every single day after tomorrow till we get to 50,000, which is the original price of this masterclass. The price will be increasing daily. So if you don't take action, you'll be surprised that after tomorrow you go and log in, it will be 30,000. After next tomorrow, it will be 35,000. After that one, it will be 40,000. After that one, 45,000, and so on and so forth. What's the link? The link is edirinedewo.com/SFBL. I'll see if I can write it inside the chat so that you can take action immediately. edirinedewo.com/SFBL. That's six-figure book launch. That's what SFBL stands for. I hope that I'm able to actually share it and it gets there. All right. So take action immediately. Now, guess what? For those of you who are taking action immediately, everybody who's going to be in this class will get access to my Profitable Writing Career Masterclass. So beyond just this webinar, beyond the masterclass, you want to be able to build a career as a writer, not just as an author, but somebody who writes. There's a difference between being an author and a writer. I hope you know that. A writer writes a whole lot of things. An author publishes books. But you want to become a profitable, writer. You want to build a career as a writer. If you go and Google me, you don't see author on my Google knowledge panel. You see writer. There's a reason why, because I am much more than an author. I am a writer. All right. So you want to be able to build a profitable writing career. You need to get the Profitable Writing Career Masterclass. For everybody who signs up, everybody, not just fast action takers or early bird people, you will get access to the replay. However, the first 10 people to sign up, which will likely be today, will get my freebie. Remember the 101 ways to repurpose your book content that I said I wanted to share? It's only for the first 10 people who sign up. So between now and the next first 10 people who are going to sign up, you automatically get redirected to download the 101 ways to repurpose your book content. If for some reason you did not get redirected, don't worry, just wait 24 hours and you will get an email with the download of the PDF for you. All right. So it's a very detailed, very, very detailed PDF, comprehensive, that shares with you different types of ways to repurpose your book content and examples, so that you can actually go and Google those examples and see what they're doing. And then you can go on ChatGPT and give it a prompt and say, oh, Jay Shetty is somebody who partners with fitness brands to be able to sell fitness products, keto products, and vegan products. How can I build a business just like Jay Shetty? Copy as much content as you can from Jay Shetty and populate your ChatGPT and tell it, okay, how can I do what Jay Shetty is doing, but for me and for maybe the Nigerian audience or for the African audience or for the UK audience or whatever platform you belong to, and start from there. All right. So that's it. However, I want to give a special benefit to the first 5 people to sign up. The first 5 people to sign up will get a free book audit from me. This freebie does not expire. What do I mean by that? If you're somebody who's signing up but you've not published your book yet, and you're saying, oh, Edirin, would this apply to me since I don't have a book? The answer is yes. All right. When you eventually publish your book, simply just email me. Hi, Edirin, I signed up for the six-figure book launch masterclass. I was one of the top 5 people. You acknowledged me, and I want to get my book audited by you. What I mean by auditing is that I'll go through your book. When your book has been completed, before you click publish, you send me the cover of your book and you send me the book content itself. I will edit your cover. I will tell you whether your cover works or not. I will tell you whether your title works or not, or your subtitle works or not. I will go through the content of your book and give you directive on whether you should re-edit, re-proofread, or whether your formatting is good enough for Amazon publishing. Apart from that, I would research the best categories that your book will do well in on Amazon. I will research the best categories for you and I'll give them to you and say, based on my research, this is it. Based on my research, I will also design a book description that you can use for your sales copy and for your Amazon description. That's what I'm going to be promising the first 5 people. And guess what? Everybody who signs up, the first 5 people, I will personally email you and tell you, congratulations, you're one of the first 5 people. If you have your book ready, send it to me. If you don't have your book ready, that's okay. This is an IOU. Whenever you're ready, send it to me. All right. So get in now so that you can finally become not just a six-figure earner, but you have the confidence to be able to then build a business from your book. I hope that you've gotten value from this. I hope that you've been blessed. I hope you've learned something. And if you're saying it's not clickable, you can simply just type it out. edirinedewo.com/SFBL is it's quite easy. I wouldn't advise you to click anything inside of Facebook as well. Just simply copy the link, write it down maybe on your book, and then when this webinar is over, or if you can click out of the webinar and then go and sign up immediately and then click back in, that's fine. So you can do that immediately. I know that I've already gotten one alert that somebody has actually signed up already. So I don't know who that is, but congratulations to that person. I'll quickly take some questions before we round up. Somebody's saying, where's the link? See the link here on my screen. Oh, take a screenshot of this screen if you want so that you can get it done. This is the link, edirinedewo.com/SFBL. Should I put them rectangle? Yeah, this rectangle is not what I want. I want to put a rectangle. Yeah, so that you can see it properly. All these rectangles are not nice. Or maybe I should underline it so that you can see it. See it though. I've underlined it. Let me make it red as well. Okay. I hope everybody can see it now. It's on top of the red line. Okay. Somebody saying that the buy, click on it. You select your tier, just follow the prompt, select your tier, it will add to your cart, and then you can actually get your ticket for the masterclass, which is holding next week Sunday, the 1st of June. If I have enough people who are interested, I will probably give you my 38 prompts and teach you how to turn ChatGPT into your personal reinvention coach. So you're here and you've learned so much today on how to build a business writing books, and you're going to be participating in the six-figure book launch masterclass, but you need help to be able to help you set up an entire system for your book. Not just set up system, but also to do research for you, and also to help you identify your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, your threats, help you find your competitors in your space. Not competitors as in people that you want to be fighting with, but people who are doing what it is that you want to do, and help you identify how you are better than them and how they are better than you. Those are the prompts. How you're better than them, how they are better than you. The prompts are plenty. I wish I had my prompt book here with me. Based on the prompt, what kind of framework would be best for me? Based on that, how can you even describe my personality as a person? What platforms would be right for me to be able to use? These are the kind of prompts, but they follow each other. The prompts I'm going to be sharing, if I'm actually doing that class, you have to follow them sequentially the way I did, because I basically sat down and used myself as a guinea pig. I had an out of body experience basically, and taught myself and coached myself through these questions. It's powerful. It's absolutely powerful. Okay. So somebody say I don't have my glasses on. It is well. Okay. Can somebody please help me type it out, because it seems like when I type it out, it's not showing. I have typed it out before. If somebody can help me type it out so I can pin their comments, that would be really, really helpful. For some reason, I cannot. Okay, thank you, Eketi. Thank you very much, Eketi. I can now pin Eketi's comments, and hopefully you should be able to see the pinned comments that Eketi has written there. So I will go through and try and answer a couple of questions. And if you have questions, you can please type them out so that I can answer them. Somebody saying the site buy button is not clicking. You should click, because I tested it out. It should click. All right. Maybe refresh your browser and try again. All right. Only Edirin Edewor does it like it. Thank you. Hi, Uyi. Good to have you here. Uyi, you're not supposed to be in church at this time. You're in America. Okay, you've probably closed. Fairly Raphael says, Hi, Edirin. Thank you for this session. Please, could you please elaborate on collaboration and licensing and then how to sell books to school? That is something that I feel like I should probably do an entire class on. Probably. Because there's a lot that goes into it. There's a whole lot. When you write a book that's based on your IP, based on your framework, based on something that you designed and developed yourself as a thought leader. So, for example, um, I have been invited to put a couple of my books in a UK library, a UK university library. Now that I'm here, I don't know how they knew about me, but apparently they knew about me and they reached out and were like, "Hey, we'd like to have your books in our library. We've seen what you've done and we're excited about it." My books are on business and on publishing, and this is a business school, right? Now, that's one step by, eventually getting your book into libraries. What happens is students can go and read, lecturers can go and read, and if they are using um things and ideas from your book in their research, they will have to reference you, right? So that's one thing. The second thing is that you can eventually connect with schools, platforms. So for example, you teach something like maybe AI, right? Maybe you are very good at AI engineering, AI prompting. You can reach out to like a business school that has business courses and ask them, do you have like modules on AI? I could help you design a module on artificial intelligence, for example, and how it applies to international business, right? For big businesses that want to be able to adopt AI, right? It may be difficult for them to adopt AI. It is difficult for them to adopt AI, in their businesses and to make business change. But imagine that you've worked with, you've written a book and you've solved the problem where you've helped maybe an MSME or an SME to be able to adopt AI, right? And you have a unique framework for the adoption of AI. Now, that framework is unique to you. You did not steal it from anywhere. You did not learn it from anywhere. It's something that you probably developed after your personal experience, maybe by solving a problem either for yourself or your company or for somebody else's company. You can then decide that, okay, I'm going to create a curriculum based on this idea for this book, and I'm going to license it to this particular school to add it to their module. Maybe they have a module on international business, for example, international business post pandemic or something like that. You can then reach a school and email maybe the admin of the school or the academic, whatever the email of the academic staff is at the school, or get across to the dean of students, which you can do on LinkedIn. You can find LinkedIn profiles for HODs and dean of students for big universities and say, hey, lovely to connect with you. I saw that you guys have this particular course in your school. I was curious to know, do you have a module that caters to AI reinvention for companies post pandemic? If you do not, I'll be very happy to share with you a slide deck on an outline of a module that I've created based on my book idea. So you create a slide deck, for example, and you email it to them and ask them, if you can book a time, a 15-minute session for me to go over the slide deck with you, I'll be happy to do so. They go over the slide deck, they like it, then they'll say, okay, how can we license this particular course so that we are the only school that is teaching this particular thing? It gives us an edge over other schools, right? And then you now start discussing money. You start discussing payment. You have to have a legitimate business. You have to have a way to be able to receive payments in dollars or pounds, because most likely it's going to be either a US school, a Canadian school, an Australian school, or a UK school, or a European school that want to do business with you. So you need to have a way to be able to receive payment, which means you have to have an international business. I keep stressing on this over and over again. All right. And then you can actually license and basically create licensing is basically creating the module, delivering it for them, and then creating contracts that states that you will not sell this IP to another school, because that would be a breach of contract. And that school will not use the IP for anything else other than teaching the modules for their classroom. You never know. You may eventually be invited by the school one day to come and teach a seminar on that particular topic. That's how you build business. All right? Because you don't need to limit yourself to what you can do. You don't need to limit yourself to um just selling books and creating digital products and courses. There's so much you can do. All right? Thank you very much. I hope that I have answered that question, and I hope that you've learned something from it. Hi, Uyi says, great session. Let's drop the offerings in the offering basket. Thank you very much. Eketi says, I've gotten my one thing. I'm glad. Gift Francis is asking, what I was told. I was told that when you use ChatGPT as a guide, Amazon rejects it. Please, is that true? I'm not sure what that means. If you use ChatGPT as a guide, for what? I'm talking about you already having your book and then using ChatGPT to help you to repurpose your content. I'm not asking you to use ChatGPT to write the book. So I hope that you understand that there's a difference between that and what I said. And Amazon does not reject AI books. If you're publishing a book that had AI input, say you AI wrote parts or all of the book, there is a place where Amazon will prompt you to say, was this book or any part of it, assisted by AI? You have to click yes. And when you click yes, you are fine. If you do that, Amazon will not flag your book. Okay. So I hope I've answered that question for you. I'm trying to go through to see if there are any other questions. I wish I could show my face, but unfortunately, if I try to stop sharing, Facebook will kick me out of this live. I tried it before and they were misbehaving. So hopefully another time. All right. Any other questions? All right. Precious says, I've learned something. I'm glad. I think fairly Richards, I've answered your question. I've pinned the post for the masterclass, edirinedewor.com/SFBL. Please go sign up as soon as possible. And if you're signing up, you'll be among the first 5 people. I hope I'm still live. Okay. If you're signing up, you'll be among the first 5 people who would get the free book audit. And if you're among the first 10 people, you also receive my 101 ways to repurpose your book content, complete with descriptions and examples, not just a long list. Okay. Bomi says, always a delight to listen to you. Just open my eyes to a new idea. And that's the goal. I'm very happy that I've done that. Lamo says, I thought this was to start by 8 p.m. Will the replay be available? Oh, you know what? Because of you, I'll leave the replay. I will leave the replay up till like midnight so that you can watch the replay. Sorry about that, Lamo. So thank you again to everybody who has listened. Erica says, does this apply to fiction books? Yes. There are so so many ways you can repurpose your content even as a fiction writer. A lot of people who do fiction books do podcasts, they do YouTube videos, they do other books reviews, they do book clubs, they do merchandises, they do animations. Do you have audiobooks that you can do? You have master classes where you can actually teach other people to become fiction writers as well. I'm currently taking a class on fiction writing to help me with my fiction writing process because there's a book that I'm currently trying to develop and I realized I needed classes. And it's another author who writes fiction books that's teaching in the master class. They have courses, they have workshops, they teach other people how to do the same. How do I write um what's the word now, epic books? How do I write all these kinds of books that are set in fictional world, right? How do I write an ekota, for example, a court of thorns and roses? How do I write an iron flame kind of book set with dragons and all of those things? How do I write it? How do I do my research? How do I do my mapping? All of those things I need to learn them. Who do I learn them from a fiction writer as well. So yes, it applies. There are so many other ways in which you can actually monetize and build a business from writing books as well. Your books can actually become turned into animations. Your book can get turned into series. It can get turned into movies. Don't think that your book is too small to be able to do those things. Nigerian authors and Nigeria stories are now getting told on Disney and on Marvel. So don't sell yourself short. There are so many other ways that you can actually do this as well. Improve on yourself, improving the quality of your book, and yeah. Auntie Toyin, it's good to have you here. It's been a while. Good evening, ma. What's your take on linking your books to subscription boxes? That's also a great way to sell more books as well. So if you have subscription boxes, you can actually do that. Um, I had an idea for a subscription box many years ago, and the idea was to deliver like one new course or one new video to people who pay a particular amount every month. So they have maybe one book, one course, and one master class delivered to their inbox for free every month. Or rather, not for free, but they pay a subscription and they get access to those every month. Then they also get access to whatever it is that I may be putting out that month. Instead of them paying a fee, they actually get to attend for free as well. So that's a great way to do a digital subscription box. Yeah. Okay. Yes, Bumi says Smart Woman Money is a perfect example. Smart Woman Money had a companion guide for her book. I bought the companion guide as well. Then she had like a TV series as well, which also did very well. And the merch as well. And then she does speaking engagements. So many ways. So many ways. All right. I think I've taken so much of your time. Let me end this so that those who came late can actually go and watch the replay. I will leave the replay up until midnight or maybe up until tomorrow. Fast action takers, remember that you have between now and 6 a.m. to be able to sign up for the six-figure masterclass before 6 a.m. And then from 6 a.m. till the end of tomorrow, it's going to be 25,000. And then after tomorrow, it will go up to 30,000. And after that day, to go up to 35,000 and so on and so forth till we get 50,000. Don't be those people that actually pays 30,000 when you could have paid 25,000. All right. So this is the end of the month as well. It's also salary month, salary period, so you can sign up. Thank you so much again for listening. I hope this has been of absolute value to you. Please tell your friends who were not here to join in. They missed a lot, a whole lot. All right. And hopefully, if I get enough people who are interested in my 38 prompt chat GPT as your own business or growth strategy or in reinvention strategies, if I get enough people, I'll probably either teach a class or do it pre-record the session and give it for free to those people who sign up for the masterclass. Probably maybe a freebie for people who sign up for the six-figure book launch masterclass. I might just do that if I get enough people who are interested. Not everybody's interested in these things, and that's okay. I don't want to waste my time doing something that nobody wouldn't want. But yeah, thank you again for listening. Thank you for being here. Have a wonderful evening. See you all next week Sunday for the six-figure book launch masterclass. Bye.